First step is don't compare yourself to other people. Oh, no, I did not study. I scrolled on TikTok all day and night. Everyone forgets something so basic at some point. It's called being a human being. Sometimes allow yourself to look lost. Allow yourself to not know, because sometimes you really won't know. Do what works for you. Don't do what works for another person. Find your niche. Sometimes they'll embarrass you. Oh, they will do that a lot. You can't study the whole textbook because the exam is not going to come from the whole textbook. You have to be smart. You have to be strategic. Cry yourself to sleep. No, boo. No, Pookie. It's not like that anymore. Patients don't follow the textbook. Med school is already hard. Don't make it harder by isolating yourself. It's easier to face a problem or to go through something if you have someone who kind of understands what you're going through. No one really ever understands what we are going through as people. A patient will present however they want to present, but you have to figure out what's wrong with them. And that is a lot.
Yeah, these days I don't worry about much. I think we should have some more fun. I still dream about the days when we were young. I'll take a hit.
Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new, hi, my name is Muchi. Hit that subscribe button and welcome aboard, okay? So today it's just me talking, nothing special, just talking, just having a conversation that I wish I had with someone before I enrolled for med school. You hear things like med school is hard, the journey is long, and so on and so forth, but there's not really anyone to show you what that's like or what that feels like. So if you're starting the journey soon or you're somewhere in the middle and you're feeling very overwhelmed, this video is for you. So the first thing is that med school is more mental than it is academic. Before med school, I thought the hardest part would be probably memorizing anatomy and passing exams, but no, that's not even the hardest part. The hardest part is how mentally and emotionally exhausting this actually can all be, you know? So there are days where you're physically there, like you're in class, you're at the clinicals and whatever, but in your mind, you're just like done. Sometimes you feel very exhausted, you feel mentally unable to continue, you will feel mentally exhausted. Almost all of us have been through that and are still going through that. You reach a point where you start caring a lot, you have a lot of expectations for yourself, you're thinking of how much your family is expecting from you, and all that can be just draining, you know? And yeah, that's probably the hardest part because nobody ever prepares you for that. The second thing is that the volume of work is insane. Like, we're required to know a lot of things in a very short period of time, and we have to know it really fast. Like, you move from anatomy, physiology, embryology, pharmacology, all these things that you have to know. Imagine having to learn the entire human body and having to know every single thing that's going on in that body, having to know every drug for every single disease, common disease out there, and you have to know this in a very short period of time. It's a lot. There are moments where you think to yourself, how am I supposed to remember all this? Like, who even remembers all this? And trust me, we've all been there. We were once told by like our pathology lecturer is that it may feel like it's a lot, but eventually things start to add up. No one ever knew everything at once. Like, you just wake up and you know everything. That's not how it works. And it doesn't mean you're failing at being in med school. It just means that you're human and you're experiencing what every other person who's been in med school has experienced before. The workload is so much that, like, for us, we had like 10 courses, and we had to write exams for 2 weeks. Every single day you have a paper for 2 weeks. You run on like 2-3 hours of sleep for 2 weeks straight. You barely even sleep. You write an exam, it goes hard, you just pat yourself on the back and put your big boy pants on to study for the next paper without having a break, without catching a breath. You know, it's a lot of work and it takes a lot. And yeah, that's what's gonna happen. It's a lot. 3, the people around you matter more than you think. At first, I used to think that I can do this on my own. I used to think that I don't need friends, I don't need anybody, I can do this on my own. I can just sit in a corner somewhere and study and read and pass the exam. I've learned that you really, really, really need people around you. You need like a community or like a group of people. It could be, you know, a group chat. It could be a group of 2, a group of 3 if you'd like, you know, but you just need people around you who kind of understand what you're going through. It's easier to face a problem or to go through something if you have someone who kind of understands what you're going through. No one really ever understands what we are going through as people, but it just feels good to have someone in your corner, someone who you could like relate to in some of these things. So it's very important to have like one or two people in your life, or one or two friends. You don't need a whole church or a whole football team of friends. No, one or two people, 1, 2, 3 people who are just there, for you, and people who you can talk to, people who you can relate with. Even if you're someone who doesn't like to socialize and doesn't like to make friends, sometimes it's really helpful to have people around you who kind of understand what you're going through, if you know what I mean. Med school is already hard. Don't make it harder by isolating yourself. 4, clinical rotations are a whole different world. Oh my days. You could have been at the top of your class, like you were probably the highest, in theory, like you used to get the highest. But when you're on the ward, it's like learning things afresh. It's like studying things afresh, like patients don't follow the textbook. The way it's written in the textbook, that this is how the patient will present, they will have A, B, C, D, E, F, G symptoms, is not always going to be the case. A patient will present however they want to present, but you have to figure out what's wrong with them. And that is a lot. Sometimes you will feel blank. You will feel like you don't know enough. You will feel like you don't even know what you're doing here. Sometimes they'll embarrass you. Oh, they will do that a lot. They'll embarrass you. They'll make you feel like you're not able. They'll make you feel like you can't do it. What's important is just to keep going and be eager to learn and be eager to progress. I feel like that's the only thing. I've also learned that sometimes allow yourself to look lost. Allow yourself to not know, because sometimes you really won't know, and every person has not known at some point, but eventually you will know. So just be respectful, on the ward. Be respectful to your doctors, be respectful to your registrars, be respectful to whoever, the nurses, whoever is in charge of you, whoever is around you at the hospital. Just be respectful and be eager to learn. Otherwise, sometimes they will embarrass you. 5, self-discipline is everything. It's not like the way it was in high school, where you have teachers chasing you around, forcing you to read, forcing you to prepare for a test, forcing you to hand in homework, forcing you to write notes, this, that, the third. No, it's not like that in med school. No one in med school will force you to revise. No one in med school will force you to study. You just have to discipline yourself. It takes a lot of self-discipline to force yourself to study, because no one is going to come and force you to study. At least in high school, we even had our parents on our backs every day telling us we need to study, we will pass, we have to pass, or else we'll this, that, the third. No. In med school, it's definitely not like that. There are days where I've told myself, I'll study after I finish eating lunch. Oh, no, I did not study. I scrolled on TikTok all day and night. I did not study. And I still do that sometimes. It's a work in progress. But the point is, you have to discipline yourself to study when you have to, like, you really have to force yourself to study, because no one else will. It takes a lot of self-discipline. Build a routine that works for you. Do what works for you. Don't do what works for another person. Find your niche. Find what works for you. Find what, Yeah, so at the end of the day, you have to force yourself to study. 6, you do not need to be perfect. It's not like high school anymore, where if you don't get 75, you be so sad, you cry yourself to sleep. No, boo. No, Pookie. It's not like that anymore, Here, you just have to do your best. Do your best. I used to put so much pressure on myself in the past, where even if I felt a test, a small test, I'll make myself feel like, oh no, I'm not good enough. How could I not pass this test? Other people are passing the test. How could I not pass this test? No. First step is, don't compare yourself to other people. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to get perfect grades. You don't have to get, perfect scores. You don't have to get 90. You don't have to get 100%. You know what I mean? You don't have to be a perfect student. You just have to be a good, hard-working student. You have to study smart. Study smart. Don't study hard. Oh, you can study hard, but you can study hard, but I would advise you to study smart. And the truth is, no one has it all put together. Even that one person in your class who gets 100%, 90%, even they don't have it all put together. Everyone messes up at some point. Everyone forgets something so basic at some point. It's called being a human being. It doesn't make you any less of a person. It doesn't make you any less of a student. It doesn't make you any less of a medical student. You know what I mean? So yeah, I always tell myself perfection is not the goal. Progress is the goal. You know, that is why even when you're studying for an exam, you have to be strategic. You know, you can't study the whole textbook because the exam is not going to come from the whole textbook. You have to be smart. You have to be strategic. You have to know how is the examiner thinking. You know, obviously you have to know these things. You have to know them, especially in medicine, especially in med school. You have to know these things. You know, you have to understand the human body. You have to understand how this works. You have to understand what causes a disease. You have to understand A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But when it comes to preparing for exams, you have to understand what does the examiner want. So yeah, I might do another video on that. So if you guys want to see a video on how to be strategic for exams, let me know. I will post that. And number 7, it's all worth it. Even if you forget it sometimes. Those sleepless nights. Those nights where you feel like you can't do it. Those nights where you feel like it's too much. Those nights where you feel like it's a lot. It's all worth it in the end. Because at the end of the day, don't forget why you actually signed up for this program in the first place. I've had moments where I've really questioned everything. Like I sat down and I'm like, is it even worth it? Like, is it even worth it to go through all this? Is it even worth it to not sleep? Is it even worth it to be up all night? But you know what? It actually really is. It doesn't always feel worth it in the moment, you know, but like those little moments where you pass a test, those little moments where you clear a semester, those little moments where, you know, you remember something that you completely forgot about, all those little moments make it worth it in the end, you know. So yeah, it is worth it. Remember why you signed up for this. Remember why you want to be a doctor. Remember why you are working this hard. Remember that. Don't ever forget it. I know sometimes you might forget it, but don't forget it completely, okay? It's always worth it in the end. That's just what I wanted to share. I hope this video was very helpful for you, and I hope you picked up 1 or 2 things, and just know you're not alone. We all are going through this hard life, you know, and med school is hard for all of us. You know, you're not alone. Just keep going, keep pushing, and whatever it is that you're studying, even if it's not medicine, yeah, it's gonna be okay. You're doing great. Keep going, keep pushing, keep moving forward. Yeah, don't give up. Okay, so if you found this video helpful in any way, do comment down below. If you want to share your story, comment down below. And even if you were just watching this to just, you know, see the vibes, that's also okay. Thank you so much for watching, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Give this video a big thumbs up, and also I'll see you guys in my next video. Love you, bye.